Days without water along the sun-soaked road. We crossed over borders to get where we are, and it's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. I did it all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. Nights without sleeping 'cause you fear the night, and days without eating 'cause it ain't enough for two. And it's
I'm leaving for Edinburgh tonight, and it came much quicker than I thought it would. And when I was looking at the footage, because the plan was that initially the plan was that I'm going to have a video which is getting ready for Edinburgh, which I'm going to record over a couple of months. But then when, as the time was passing, I didn't really manage to do that. Then I thought I'm going to make one video, which is going to be Edinburgh vlog, which is the pre and post as well. But now I was looking at the footage that I have of me getting ready a bit, and I do think that I have enough for another video to release while I'm away. Now that's going to be a crunch because I'm leaving today, which means that I would have to edit this video and upload it and maybe set it to go public over the weekend. So if you are watching this as it is, it means that I have managed to do that, and that I'm in Edinburgh as you're watching it, probably at the Woolly Gathering, the showcase. I think it's called the Woolly Gathering, the Yarn Festival. Anyway, I'm gonna be with Amy and Jackie in Edinburgh and hopefully having a great time. So I kind of had quite a few things to do before I leave, and some of the things that are usually just my responsibility in the house, we don't have clear-cut responsibilities like who does what, but somehow we have separated. Like Mario cooks because I'm a lousy cook. I tend to do the gardening. So I had some responsibilities around the garden to finish before I leave, because I don't think I would trust him. But I have footage of that as well. But where I'm going to take you now, because I found the footage from back in February when I just booked my tickets to Edinburgh. It's a short footage, but I have it, so we're going to go back to sometime in February, and then we're going to come back to present in the last couple of days leading to today. Two nights ago, I booked a flight to go to Edinburgh, Scotland, end of April. And it wasn't something that was planned. But a few weeks ago, a friend of mine, Jackie Rose from the channel Jackson Rose, she contacted me, and she said that she's going to be there at that time, and if there is any chance that I would come as well. So the wheels in my head started turning, and also because another friend of ours is living there, Amy Palko from the Meaningful Stitch, I started thinking like, you know, I started looking at the dates, and then eventually, you know, I just pressed the button and I said, okay, I'm coming. And to tell you the truth, there is also Fibre Festival going on at that time, I think 26th and 27th of April. So, but I think that we are using the Fibre Festival as an excuse to kind of get together. As I told you, I had some things to do in the garden, and mainly transplant a few of my pots, so I make sure that they're okay in case Mario forgets to water them. Last week I bought 2 plants. I bought one that is a mix of basil and mint, and I bought this beautiful rose, which is not completely a miniature rose, but it's not the one that grows really high like the one that I have, and the flowers don't really get bigger than this. However, since I'm going now for 5 days to Scotland, I don't really trust Mario that he's going to be watering them, and the weather is getting quite warm. So I need to plant them in a bigger pot so that even if he forgets to water them, that they're going to be okay until I come back.
It's all for you, it's all for you. I did it all for you. It's all for you, it's all for you, it's all for you. So you don't feel the cold, and it's all for you, it's all for you, it's all for you, it's all for you. I did it all for you, it's all for you, it's all for you, it's all for you.
So I'm leaving tomorrow, and there is still quite a few things that I need to do. A couple of days ago I transplanted some plants and harvest some loquat that needs to be harvested. I still need to pack, and I'm making the list of everything. As far as clothes that I'm taking, I really thought that I'm gonna make a really nice plan and bring some fancy stuff as well, maybe high heels. But I looked at the forecast and it's quite cold. It's about 9-10 degrees and it's raining. So I think I'm gonna scrap that and probably just go with 2 or 3 pairs of jeans, Dr. Martens, and just like 3 jumpers and maybe some things for underneath. Nothing really fancy. Just the basic capsule wardrobe, and even a coat. I'm gonna bring that kind of feather winter jacket, bomber jacket, do they call it, something like that. But I wanted to show you this jumper. I finished it, the one that I showed you that I was working on in the last video. Cool, right? I washed it, I blocked it. I really like it, considering that I just improvised and that I was just, as I said, improvising as I went. It's the In and Out Raglan, but I didn't make a very high neck, even though I love those. It's made in drop sky. And because I had a bit of this black color in the same yarn left over from my other jumper, I decided to do some color work on the sleeves and here. And it worked really well. So when I split for the sleeves, I just kind of saw how many stitches. I told you that in the previous video, but just in case you missed it. When I split for the sleeves, I just saw how many stitches I had on the sleeves. I opened one of my books with charts for color work. I found one chart that I like that is divisible by those stitches, and then I just decided to apply that, and it worked well. I made them a bit shorter, which again I do like, but I made them shorter because I didn't know how much yarn I'm going to have. So I made the sleeves first, and then I decided to kind of add that black little bit here as stripes on the... I'm pleased. I'm very pleased. I'm happy, and I think the possibilities are endless because I'm not a big fan of color work here. I like it on other people, not so much on me. I would like to have one jumper that is like this really wintry jumper with color work here, like traditional Icelandic or northern traditional jumper. I would like to have one like that, but in general I'm not a fan of having color work here for me. So I think this way, this opens up possibilities, and I'm happy. I wanted to, so I was going to kind of stop the video here and go upstairs and tell you more stuff, but because I'm in a kind of a rush, I wanted to tell you about the gifts that I'm taking for Amy and Jackie. Now, I thought Amy got a couple of years ago from me some of my handspun yarn, and Jackie got from me last year one of my hand-woven shawls. So one of them got to work with my handspun, and one of them got something that I actually made, that even though I made the handspun, but that I either woven or knitted or... So I thought this time I'm going to switch it around, and also practicality wise, because Jackie, she's traveling from UK, from from America, so I don't know how much space she's gonna have. So I thought I'm going to give her like combination of different skeins of my handspun yarn, so she can play and experiment and get to work with it. And for Amy, I wanted to make something. And I decided, well, first I was going to make something else. But then, because I'm arriving there middle of the night, and Amy said, I'm going to come with my husband and pick you up. And I said, Amy, really, that's really not needed because it's middle of the night. You don't need to come and get the car and pick me up from the airport. But she said, no, it's really not a problem. I don't want you hanging out there middle of the night. And so I was really, really touched. So I wanted to get them something for their home. So not just for Amy, but for her husband as well, for their home really. And they just redecorated their house, and it's really nice. You can see it in her latest video. But before I saw how they redecorated their house, I thought that one of my latest crochet blankets that I made this year really contains the colors that Amy would like, and it's this one here. So I really thought that these are the colors that Amy would like. And I washed it, I let it dry, I spread it over one of the single beds and I let it dry, and that was a couple of weeks ago. And then yesterday, I watched Amy's latest video, and she was showing the colors of her newly redecorated apartment. And it's unbelievable, the colors are these, the colors of the walls are these, and I didn't know that. And not only that, she said that she started working on a crochet blanket, but it's a little bit difficult for her because she's not a continental knitter. So I suppose if you're an English knitter, crochet comes a bit harder for you. And she started working on one crochet blanket that is going to go with one of the rooms. And she said, oh, hopefully maybe I'm going to have it by the winter. And I was watching and I said, oh my God, she doesn't even know. She has no idea that she's actually gonna have a crochet blanket just in a couple of days. So that was really, I mean, kind of like all the pieces came together. And I'm really, really happy now with my choice that I decided to get her this, give them this blanket. And I'm gonna show you what yarns I chose for Jackie. So for Jackie, I'm actually not sure whether I'm going to keep it in this box, because also it's difficult to pack in my suitcase, and then definitely it's going to be difficult to pack in her suitcase. But I put it in here because it really looks nice, and I'll try to squeeze it in, but if not, I'll just put it in a drawstring bag, and I think she's gonna be happy. Anyway, the yarn is the point, but I do like the presentation. So the collection that I made for her, I wanted her to play really with my hand spun yarn, and just no particular thing in mind. I just wanted to, you know, experiment, play, whether she's gonna make her shrugs or her shawls, but I wanted her to have like different breeds and different colors, but all in these neutral, natural colors. So I wrote on each one what it is, but I can't really see the tag, so I'll try to remember. This one here, this is Blue Face Leicester blended with Merino and Black Llama. This one here is BFL. These two are Merino. This one I think is Corriedale, Merino and Alpaca. And this is Grey Shetland. So, you know, both of them get to get a present that they didn't get from me. And giving presents actually makes me really happy. So I hope they like it. I'm pretty much packed, and you know what, no matter how big of a bag I tend to have, I always somehow manage to fill it up. And I know that there is Amy's blanket in the bag and Jackie's yarn as well, but when that comes out, that's probably going to be filled by yarn. Now the thing is that I don't really need any more yarn. Neither do I want any more yarn. I'm drowning in yarn here. But I know I will buy some. It's a given. I know I will buy yarn when I go, especially when I go and I start feeling this natural Scottish yarn, and I know that I'm going to come back with yarn. So I'm just going to leave it, not think about it, and just kind of take it as it goes, you know, and if I like something, I'm going to buy it guilt-free. So that's as far as the yarn is concerned in buying, but I don't know what to expect. I mean, this is only my second yarn fair, and I went to the one in Barcelona with in November with other friends of mine. What I'm taking for knitting though, oh, I didn't show you first. This is the latest Shrug, Saturday Shrug by Jackie Rose that I made. I just finished it and I didn't even weave in the ends yet. It's a combination, I held two strands. It's a combination of alpaca, merino, cashmere. I think there is some cotton as well, and it's lovely. I don't know if I'm going to take it with me, because the weather is a bit, it's about 9 or 10 degrees when I saw the forecast, and it's raining, so I don't know if I'm going to have use of this because I'm taking a heavy winter jacket, but it's not too difficult to pack, so I might as well. I might just pack it with me. And I wanted to show you what I was going to take with me to knit, because that's something that I tend to give much more thought than I should, and probably you do too, because of the needles and what you know, are the airlines going to make me problems. I don't want to have anything bulky that will take space. So what I decided to do, everything is on small needles, 2mm and 2.5 millimeters. For the hotel, I'm going to be knitting a hat, which is on 2.5mm needles, and I started all of them just so I have a cast on ready. And I'm going to be knitting a hat in this charcoal gray color, and so that's on 2.5mm needles, so I'm going to have that. It's going to keep me busy. And I also have a pair of socks but this is on 2mm needles that I also started last night, and I took 1 or 2 spare balls of yarn in case I ran out. But yeah, these are 2mm needles, 64 stitches, so I think that's gonna keep me busy at the hotel when I come back in the night. But for the airplane, because I wasn't sure whether they're going to give me issues with the big needles, you never know. One time I took them, the long ones, and they made no problem, but I always try to go with the really shorty ones, the little circular ones. So what I did, I cast on for a sock on these tiny Adi Wonder circular ones, and the yarn that I'm using is Regia 4-ply, and it's this pink but kind of dirty pink and a bit variegated as well. I have the ball band here. It's 4-ply, 100 grams. I can't really see the meterage, but I would assume that it's 400 meters. So what I'm going to do is, this is the first time that I'm just going to be making a tube. I'm going to make a tube out of this whole ball. I don't know if that's going to be finished on this trip, but this will be my airplane knitting. So I started with a cast on of some scrap white yarn, and then I'm going to continue with this pinkish yarn and just knit as much as I have, and then figure out how I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces to make 4 pieces of socks and add contrasting cuffs, heels and toes. Usually I do afterthought heel, but this is the first time that I'm going to be making a whole tube. I just think that it's practical for airplane knitting, just going around and around, and I don't think they're gonna make me problems for these small needles. That's that. So as I said, if you are watching this, it means that I have managed today, on the last day, to edit this video, and I'm leaving tonight. Amy and her husband are picking me up middle of the night, which is amazing, and I will see you. I hope you're well, and I will see you after Edinburgh. Bye for now.
It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. I did it all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. Nights without sleeping, 'cause you fear the night. And days without eating, 'cause it ain't enough for two.